Bum-a-num, 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 bum-a-num. Ah, yes. You can never go wrong with the Addams family at this time of the year. They're known to be a family that's creepy and kooky, mysterious and spooky, but all together ooky, the Addams family. And there have been many different films and series that have featured these characters. So what would I be looking at in this Halloween special one? Well, I'll be looking to the two animated films from the late 2010s and early 2020s. That'll be the 2019 Addams Family film, as well as the sequel, The Addams Family 2. I did reviews on these films when they first came out, and I've always thought about doing retrospective reviews on them. My opinions haven't changed too much on these films. I do think they're both really good, but seeing how they've got really poor reception, I think that would be a good time to share why I think these are really good films and, dare I say, underrated. So let's start with the first Addams Family. The thing I really like the most about this film is how it keeps the charms of Addams. All their personalities are intact, and the type of humor you get out the Addams is honestly hilarious. Yes, I love the opening scene in with the wedding thing, and some of the line deliveries really got me. Like when the reference said "dearly beloved" instead of "dearly beloved," or at the end when they managed to escape, everyone got and they thought about fleeing the place, and Glenn was suggested somewhere horrible, somewhere corrupt, somewhere no one in the right mind would dream of being, and it turns out to be New Jersey. That gets me every time. I've always been for over great 18 with the two of them in the car. Unhappy darling, always. Your hand is like a dead fish, my love. That is a dead fish. Yeah, the Addams personalities and humor really do make the first film for me. I also love how they put a lot of twists into some classical lines that many people would say. I always love it when Pet Ugly does an explosion, blows up with it, and also goes, oh, they blow up so fast these days instead of they grow up so fast. And it's also for all over in afterwards where Ghost must tell Elspokely that he must be prepared for his Siba Musuka. Anyway, where Emily comes together and judges your worth as a human being. And here is like Thanksgiving. Yeah, I can't get over how many funny and clever the lines or jokes that are in this film. I really do like the Addams in this feature. They stay true to their regular personalities, but honestly, they offer some twists to them. This is especially the case with Wednesday, where she wants to explore more or beyond her wonderful little mansion. She and explore the real while still keeping that goth personality and sense of humour with her. That does make for a protagonist. Pugsley's also really interesting. Thinking of a character. Tell with how he prepares for his Saber Masuka, going almost a Matisha really enjoyable. All with them always said they're not being the best parents they can for their kids. It's an Uncle Fester surprised he had a bigger role than I was expecting. I think Annie honestly offers some of the best jokes. Some of his better jokes do come in the second film, which I'll talk about later. But he did have some all the jokes in the feature. Sure. I admit I've never been huge on the main story of this movie. Where the Addams have to like kind of fit into this new town called Assimilation. But it doesn't change the fact that it's only a minor critique, and while the story itself isn't great, the execution does more than make up for its shortcomings. I was having a lot of fun with these characters and their personalities. I want to quickly briefly talk about the animation, because I know that this is not usually considered to be the best thing out of both these films. And I say the animation is honestly really good. They stay true to the design. I'm from Charles Addams, which I really like. And while the humans do look a bit off at first, I did slowly but surely get used to it. Also, the film's animation is done by Nitrogen, who I honestly have a bit of nostalgia for, or as the animated seasons since 1916 Dean Thomas friends, as well as the films made during the time of Hero of the Rails, Misty Island Rescue, Dave the Diesels, and Blue Mountain Mystery. So I'll always have a bit of nostalgia for the studio. There are also some interesting new human characters that interact with the Addams. Parker made for a solid addition as a threat and for Wednesday, although it's weird that she doesn't appear in the second one. And Margot serves as a decent antagonist for the feature. Although I was kind of confused of her ending thing, did they just redeem her? I mean, with all the damage of what she was trying to do to the Addams, it has been a moment that's really confused me. It actually ended up redeeming herself and sort of having a temporary relationship with Fester. The which I do honestly like how Fester did pick her up like no. Well, oh dear. You've got a lot of houses you want to get rid of, and I've got a lot of family I want to get rid of. So, despite its quirks, The Addams Family 2019 is a fun, enjoyable, and great creepy, kooky adventure for the Addams. It has great humour, good animation, likeable characters, as well as some really good voice acting. A great watch for Addams Family fans. 8.5 out of 10. Now let's move on to The Addams Family 2, which is only a slight downgrade from the first film. There are things I think the first does a lot better, but I also will admit that there are a couple of things in this film that I did kind of prefer in this than I did in the first film. One thing I think improved overall, or between this movie and the first movie, in my own professional opinion, is how the Addams spent a lot more time together. In the first film, I do feel like they were a bit more separate, doing their own things until the end, where they all have to come out together. But for the most part, as they're on this road trip together, but the Addams are able to show their creepy, kooky, mysterious, and spooky personalities often a unique way, and show their bond off each other. Also, like the first film, the comedy is absolutely hilarious. There are so many jokes in this film that I find honestly hilarious. A great one at the beginning would be and they entered the fair to what Wednesday. The Morticia comments, I can't believe pimps like their kids got a hole like this. Everyone's so clean. And Gomer has replies with, if it's not all bad, at least they put the children in a competition that will at least go are the losers for life. Which I always kind of view competitions when I was younger. I'm not gonna lie. I I think Uncle Fester is a lot more enjoyable on this one. I really liked him in the first film, but I was surprised to find a lot more elements of him in this one and working a lot more. Or especially with him slowly turning into an octopus and getting the need for water. So one of my favourite lines is when he sees a sign for Niagara Falls, or enforces his thing into change direction with "For God's sake, we don't." Oh, how it turned out! Change of plans. And seeing as those already a Halloween film, and we're Salem with the Hocus Pocus song, yeah, I think everyone knows how it all turned out. I also think Wednesday is a really interesting character, as she has to deal with the fact that there's the possibility of her not being an Addams. When I do think makes for a solid mystery. And it does introduce an interesting character with Cyrus Strange. Now, as far as twist villains go, Strange is not the best one I've seen. It's quite obvious that he's going to end up as the big main villain that the Addams will have to stop at the end of the feature. And you can tell out some of his dialogue that he's going to be evil. However, I was surprised to find on my most recent rewatches that as soon as it's revealed that he is a villain, he becomes a lot more enjoyable and entertaining. Like how he uses sleep gas to take out the Addams minus Wednesday. Then goes, I nearly forgot to thank you for the tip. I'm good. I'm so good. And I also really love how he fit all his plan through with Wednesday's experiments. And if you can be able to change personalities, please imagine who would pay for that. The government, the military, armed forces, says they'd all want to pay for a bit of animal experimentation. Think about how rich and famous it'll become. And he becomes a lot more intimidating in the climax, as where he mixes with all the formula and becomes an animal like kaiju. Which leads to a fun climax between Octopus Festa and big animal kaiju Osiris Strange, and leading into an exciting monster-sized climax. I also find him to be a bit freaky with how he looks into human-animal experimentation, of how he took an animal, most like a pig and ostrich, and made them look like his fake family. He will show on a bit of size to them that they do look a little bit off. I will say the one thing that does stop this being either on par or better than the first film is that I did find the story to be a little bit weaker this time. Yes, that it has an interesting idea, but I did find a lot more elements in this feature to be predictable. From Cyrus's big reveal, you'll have him being in twist villain, learn to how the Addams would have to constantly escape. From Cyrus's goons. But those are minor critiques. And while I do think this film is a slight downgrade, I honestly had a lot of fun with the Addams family too. Yes, it has its flaws, but it has a great fun energy that I can't ignore. Or the family themselves are really enjoyable. And there are so many funny moments that always have me howling. Especially with Fletch. There's one scene in the film where Wednesday says, "Show these cretins what your big dead hands are capable of," and he literally goes to the piano saying, "I will survive." And Wednesday replying with, "I should have been more specific," always cracks me up. So yeah, if you like the first of them, you're definitely going to have a great time with the Addams Family too. Maybe not as much as the first, but I still had a really good time with this one. And I'm going to give the Addams Family 2 a 7.5 out of 10. Really close to being on an 8. So, oh yeah, even though I do understand that these are not the most beloved animated films, if you're in the mood for some kooky, mysterious, and spooky fun, then give these two animated Addams Family films a try. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Feel free to comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye!